There's an elementary school locker room, and a man walks in, strips naked, and walks around with his dong out. Do you think that this man gets arrested? Yes. Yes, he does. Because he's committed exposure. He's exposed himself to young women, which is something that we as a society frown upon. You don't get to do that. With one exception. If you identify as a woman, then all of quote-unquote moral society demands that we respect his rights, respect him for identifying as such. Well, comrade, I say niet to that because this is exactly what took place in Los Angeles, California at a place called WiSpa over the weekend, where an individual who is a biological man and has down there went into the women's locker room and walked around exposing himself to all the women and including young girls. Formally, of course, this would get him arrested, and rightfully so. Most people don't want this. This is a violation of the way that the normal man wants to protect his daughters. And I also have a daughter, and I would take an offense to this to a great deal if somebody that we used to call a pervert were to do this. But suddenly it's acceptable because this person's a little bit crazy. Now, we have, in where I live in Thailand, a lot of transsexuals. In Bangkok especially, it's a great way for boys that identify as girls or change their sex to make money. There is a market for that. I'm not part of that market, but you get used to them and you see them all along. I've got no problem with the individual. Is when you want to enter from Fantasyland and impose your reality of the world onto everybody else and demand that we respect it, as though our vision of the world has absolutely no merit. If you want me to call you she, if your name was Vernon and you want me to call you Sarah, I don't really have a problem with that because this is a form of mutual respect. But when you cross a certain line, you've crossed the threshold into what we, as normal, sane people, identify as something that should be protected. And in this case, it's young girls. They do not need to be exposed to this. I understand that women would take offense to this. I personally would not trek through a locker room naked full of women unless I was invited. Even then, I'd have serious questions as to why, and I would not do so. Unless, of course, once again, because according to Jack Dorsey, you're not allowed to say men are not women and women are not men. This insanity that denies biology is once again the postmodernistic thought. Now, what happened at the spa is the fact that the spa owners had to contend. They were going down the Straits, and it's Odysseus, the Greek myth, and you have the Hydra on one side and the whirlpool on the other, and they have to decide which side to err on, because they're between a rock and a hard place either way. Either way, they're going to lose revenue, they're going to anger somebody, and the life that's going to be lost. You have the state that is like the whirlpool, and they're going to just suck you down under into never-ending litigation for a hate crime of not respecting somebody else, of discriminating. So they told the irate customers that they did not have the right to discriminate against this man, woman, transsexual, whatever you want to call this individual. They said that because the game theory says that they're going to lose less revenue, they're going to lose less business by pissing off a certain segment of their customer base. Either way, they lose, they just lost a little less. So this is the game theory according to WiSpa and according to the sane businessman and what they're going to do. Now, the same businessman would not try to set up shop there. The same businessman would recognize that this is an extra tax imposed by the progressives of California, that deprives them of the ability to run the business in the way that they want. This is why I want minimal number of laws in terms of what a business can and cannot do, because now they're caught in a very difficult place. Then the women, some of them, decided to protest. Here's a little video of Antifa imposing their will.
Go home, transphobes! You don't need that sign. That sign doesn't do anything for anyone. You're just hating on people for no fucking reason.
Really? Are you being violent?
Lady, it's transphobe!
Additionally, according to the news reports that I read, a certain number of people were assaulted. They were injured. They were sent to the hospital. I wonder who brought the weapons. I wonder who did the assaulting. Do you think it's a 50-50, or do you think that you can also guess?
Get the fuck out of here!
What am I doing?
Get the fuck out!
Was it Antifa, or was it the individual women that were protesting the fact that a biological male with a dong was allowed to traipse around the women's locker room naked? I wonder. You guys make the call. Leave it in the comment section below. This is not how the real world works, and this is what the Democrats are offering. And I used to be a Democrat, but the party has gone so insane. How can I possibly get behind it? How can I possibly get behind a party that wants to demand that I accept a grown man walking around my daughter in a few years, traipsing around with his dong hanging out, his junk swaying in the breeze? No, thank you. That's why I left California, and that's why I'm not coming back. Y'all who are staying, who are accepting this, who are accepting these moral authoritarians, it's only going to get worse unless y'all stand up and say, "Niet, comrade, you don't impose this stuff on me. You take that postmodernistic thought back home to France, where even the French are starting to reject it." And this is what the left is imposing upon us. This is just another example, another feather in their cap in terms of the authority that they're exerting. So keep electing Gavin Newsom, California. Keep allowing this to happen, and see if we don't have a laughingstock of a society when many people are going to want to move to Saudi Arabia, where women, frankly, are more respected. Maybe this is what they meant when they said that Islam was right about women. Peace and blessings, everybody. Thumb up the video, and if you like it, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all notifications. Have a fantastic day. Peace out.